Libra and Ounchies' Big Adventure. A brand new steam electric locomotive came to Fontana. She was very fast and would reach the speed of 100 miles per hour. She was yellow and very fast. "That's the fastest train I've ever seen," said Longseat. Meppy, Netzi, and Dochi were at Fontropolis Station when the big train came in. "My name is Libra," she said. "I'm from the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad." "It's nice to meet you," said Meppy. "I'm a really useful engine." And then her passengers were on board, and she steamed off to meet the engine Ounchie in Natick. She saw Ounchie. "It's nice to meet you," said Libra. "It's nice to meet you too," said Ounchie. "Let's collect a freight train and go on an adventure." So Ounchie hooked up to Libra, and they set off toward their freight train. Some diesel locomotives made their way into the yard, and they hooked up to their train, and they set off on their way toward the big city. I picked up the Capitol residence this morning," said Libra. "Now let's get going with this freight train." And they steamed onto the main line toward the big city. They were being the best. Then Wayne came into view with a high-speed train. "I just left Union Station," she said. "Now I'm on an adventure." And then the engine steamed over the crossing. "First one there is a head-on collision," said Wayne. And he steamed down the line at full speed. The engine steamed along with their freight train. 43 cars were heavy. But the engines carried on. "See you at the finish line," Wayne said. And the train sped along the main line at their top speed. And then they had to stop at a signal to wait for Bernard to pass. "Bernard is scheduled to pass us soon," said Ounchie. Then there was trouble. A child was throwing a tantrum in the restaurant. "Oh no! They're about to climb up onto our cab! They're gonna break the law! He's gonna break the law!" Then Bernard came into view with Amfleet 1s. And then Behind was Meggie pulling her commuter train. "Why are you going backwards?" she said. "Stop!" Her driver applied the brakes, but it was too late! "Not this at all!" moaned Bernard. It was too late for him to stop as well, and he flipped upside down. No one was hurt or worse, but the trains were toppled over and the freight cars were derailed. "We're sorry about this," said Ounchie. And then Wexy came into view. "A tantrum's not something to be scared of," she said. "It's just best to focus on one job." So she hooked up to Maggie's coaches and then she sped along. And she saw Byron had broken down. "Help! My engine is malfunctioning," he said. So she hooked up the coaches to his train, and then she set off and saw Ronald. "I'll take the auto train to Florida for you," she said. "Thank you so much," said Ronald. And then she hooked up the coaches to the rear of the train and set off on her way with such a long train. The passengers were enjoying themselves. "I hope we're not late," they said. She came onto the northeast corridor, where Nettie had broken down because his transformer had blew. He was stranded, stuck. "I'll get your freight train delivered in no time." "Thank you," said Nettie, and Wexy hooked up her freight cars to his train. And set off with all of her might. The train was heavy, but Wexy puffed with her effort and horsepower. "I can do it," she said. Then she steamed off onto the Keystone Corridor that went through the mountains with her Amfleet 2s and Viewliner 1s, and then she made it around the curve. Then there was trouble. When she made it to the other side, she began to go really fast. "Oh no, help!" she cried. "I can't stop!" And she sped along the line at full speed. And then she curled around the curve. And her coaches clattered and bumped and bounced along behind, and then she went through a tunnel. Then she sped by the other engines at full speed. "That's the longest train I've ever seen!" Drustley said. Then she sped by Longsea. "That's a long train, Waxy!" she said. And then she sped over the crossing at full speed. Then, Nurly came into view. She didn't know about... "Oh no!" she cried. "You're going too fast!" Her driver applied the brakes, but it was too late! Luckily, no one was hurt, but the coaches and some freight cars were derailed and Nurly's front was badly damaged. Freight cars were ruined. Sorry, Nurly, said Wexy. Then Linsley shunted her to the steam engine works. And then Nemi arrived. "Are you okay?" she said. And then Meppy came in to the rescue to take Wexy to the works, and Nemi took Nurly's passenger train further on to continue the journey. She puffed backwards. And then she puffed through the countryside. "This is the best job ever," she said. Over on New Florida, Sasha, Dwee, and Megan heard the news. "Let's go visit Fontana," said Dwee. "Sounds good," said Sasha. "We should get going," said Megan. And they steamed out of nothing. "It's nice to meet you, Waxy," puffed Dwee. "I'm from New Florida." "And I'm Sasha and Megan," said the two engines. "We'll meet the rest someday," said Megan.